Deadass. Misty. Jesus. So, though, I was not expecting him to look like that. That's crazy. I don't know what I was expecting him to look like. I knew he was black. That's about it, though. You look good. Just saying. Keep it up. I like the skin. The skin is flawless. The jawline. You got it. Let's get it, though.
On May 6, 2013, a woman's voice was heard for the first time after 10 years through a 911 call. This story is about a man who kidnapped 3 women and held them captive in his house.
Damn.
This was an evil man, and these women didn't deserve what happened to them. He did some of the most evil acts you could think of. But let me pose a question. Have you ever trusted somebody and they broke that trust? And if so, leave it in the comment section and I promise I'll reply to it.
Hell
But
yeah.
this is the story about Michelle Knight, Amanda Berry, Gina DeJesus, and the Cleveland House of Horrors.
I'm 28. I cannot tell you how many times I trusted somebody and that trust was broken all the time. What should be like?
Was boarded. Closet doors nailed to the front windows. Everything was dark and secure. The man behind this house of horrors is Ariel Castro. Ariel Castro was a local school bus driver who had occasional barbecues for his friends, family, and neighbors. On the outside, he came across as normal. But as said by one of his band members, his personality was weird sometimes. One moment, he'll be joking around with you, and the next moment, he'll be angry with the whole band for no reason. Ariel Castro had kids with...
I cannot work like that. I cannot work with people like that. I don't know how to work with you. Like, one second you like, ha, 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 ha. Next second you like, I cannot work with you. Like, I cannot work with anybody like that. I cannot, without... I probably could if I had like hella security, because I don't know what you want.
His ex-wife. But the relationship between him and his ex-wife was horrible. He was extremely violent with her. Per police reports, he had thrown her down the stairs, broken her ribs, and cracked her skull.
God damn.
This pattern of misconduct continued throughout the years.
Oh my God.
Michelle Knight had a terrible childhood. At times, her family lived in their car and often traveled from place to place.
Right.
In her house, when they moved to the west side of Cleveland, they would make hot dogs on their space heater for hours. It would take 4 hours just to make a hot dog.
Wow.
She had younger siblings and pretty much raised them. She even delivered one of her siblings. Growing up, Michelle was a victim of abuse, which made her feel neglected. At one point, when she was 14, Michelle felt safer on the streets than she did at home,
Oh my God.
so she ran away. Michelle slept under a park bench and lived in a dumpster. A few times a week, Michelle would go to Fellowship Missionary Baptist Church nearby, sit in the back, and sing along with the choir. Every day at 2 p.m., the church would have a meal service where Michelle would receive food. But one day while eating, one of her family members saw her and called her father. Her father went to the church, picked her up, and took her home. After that, she attended Lincoln West High School, where she was constantly picked on due to her personality and her short stature. She was 4'2".
Damn.
It was a very difficult time for her, and it was very difficult for her to make friends until she met an older boy at school. Eventually, that boy got her pregnant. That gave Michelle purpose. She wanted to be a better mother to her child than her mother was to her. So one day, she went looking for a job and left her child with her mother and her mother's boyfriend. Michelle returned home and her mother wasn't there, but the boyfriend was there and the boyfriend was drunk. The mother's boyfriend grabbed Michelle's son by his leg, injuring him. Michelle takes her son to the hospital and eventually CPS took her son, which is Child Protective Services. Fast forward some months on August 23rd, 2002. Michelle was on her way to a case management meeting, but she was lost. Her mother was supposed to take her where she was supposed to receive her son back. She walked into a dollar store asking for directions. She asked the clerk, but the clerk couldn't help her. But that's when Ariel Castro intervened. He let her know that he can take her and he'll get her there within 5 to 10 minutes.
Wow.
Because it'll be about a 40-minute walk for her. And she had to be there within 15 minutes.
My ass. Knowing what I know, and that people can be clucked up just in general, knowing what I know about cluckness, I need to be there in 15 minutes. By walking, it's 40. The whole time, I'm like, and the reason I'm running like that is because I got sus vibes and cluck vibes from old dude. Just saying.
Ariel Castro was the father of one of Michelle's friends, so she was comfortable with him. During the drive, Ariel Castro mentioned how his dog just had puppies, and that she can take one home, and that his daughter was at the house. Michelle showed interest in the puppies and seeing her friend. They went into his house. As they entered the house, they went through the back door and she waved at the next door neighbors. Once she entered the house, she noticed that the windows were boarded up and no one was able to see inside. She also notices that she can't hear the puppies. He tells her that the puppies and his daughter were upstairs, so they go upstairs. As they're going up the stairs, you have to turn right. As they turn right, she gets to the top of the stairs and he points at a room. As they're getting closer to the room, she starts to think that something was wrong because she still doesn't hear anything.
Right.
He told her the puppies were sleeping. She enters the room and he follows. Once they entered the room, he closed and he locked the door.
You see? She should have let him enter it first. Just saying. I would have been like, I'm at the door. He told me to go ahead first. I would have been like, you go ahead. We would have been doing this shit. We would have been doing that for like 10 minutes. I kid you not. Until he went first.
He immediately tells Michelle that she would never leave this house again. Michelle drops to the floor begging for him to let her leave. He takes her wallet from her and takes a picture of her son out. Ariel then takes the picture of her son, rips it up, and tells her that she would never see her son again. That was the only picture that she had of him. At that point, he tells her that if she screams, that will be the last thing she ever does.
God damn.
He proceeds to tie her up with an extension cord, an orange extension cord around her ankles, wrist, and neck. He then put the sock in her mouth and hung her up to a contraption, and he left her there.
That's OD. The ankles and the wrist, but like, all of it is bad, horrible, horrific. I can deal with the ankles and the wrist, but wrapping around the neck, come on, man.
For 2 weeks. If you don't know what I mean, her wrist and her ankles were tied together while she was facing the floor, and she was halfway between the floor and the ceiling.
Oh my God.
During that time, he would occasionally feed her and give her water. So after the 2 weeks, he took her to the basement. where she was tied to a pole in the middle of the basement for weeks with a motorcycle helmet on her head, so she could never tell what time of the day it was because the visor was over her eyes. Castro would do things to her that only a sick individual would do, over and over and over. And to mask her screams, he would often leave a radio on very loud throughout the day. Michelle states that, whenever he would do anything to me, I had to put my mind in a different place. As Michelle Knight is held captive in Ariel Castro's house, he continues to prowl the streets for his next victim. So one day, Michelle can hear something going on downstairs, but she can tell that he wasn't alone.
Nobody in our neighborhood thought it was weird that every window in his house is boarded up.
It was a struggle. There was a girl downstairs yelling for him to get off of her. That person was Amanda Berry.
God damn.
Amanda Berry started her day, which was the day before her 17th birthday. Her mother told her that she loves her, gave her a kiss while Amanda got ready for work. She almost called off that day only because her birthday was the next day. So Amanda went to work, got off, and she was walking home from Burger King in some bad weather. She saw her friend drive past with her father taking her home. Then all of a sudden, a few minutes later, that same car pulls up. The car stops right next to Amanda and the driver asks if she needs a ride.
I'm good.
Unfortunately, she said yes.
I'm good. How long was the walk from Burger King to the house, my house? He said, it's about 30-minute walk. All right, bet. This way. All right. Okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Ugly. Again, I'm running like that because I sense susness and cluckness.
Was Ariel Castro. Amanda was friends with his daughter and she worked with her at Burger King. As Amanda gets into the car, Ariel
The daughter's sus too, just saying.
Mentions that his daughter was at the house and asked Amanda did she want to see her. Amanda said yes and they drove to his house. As they walk into the house, Ariel starts to show Amanda around the house. As he's doing this, he tells her that his daughter...
Why that joke leaning? Hold on. Get off of this. Why is that truck leaning like that? That's weird. That's nah. That's hella sus. Hell no.
Angie is in the back, but his roommate is in another room. So as they go upstairs, Amanda looks to her left and she notices that there's a room, the door closed, but she can see through a hole in the door. That door has a hole where a doorknob is supposed to be. She bends over and she looks in there and she notices that a woman is in there sitting on a bed, half clothed, watching TV on an old TV. What she doesn't know is that's Michelle Knight. He then takes Amanda to the room in the back where he said his daughter was. And Amanda noticed that no one was in there and the room was dark and the windows were boarded up. And then he demanded her to get undressed. After she did that, he took her to the basement, chained her up and put a helmet on her, turned off all the lights.
I'm so sorry to anybody that has a parent like this that you don't know, you do not know. You know, I get it. Sometimes a parent wants to hide what's best for their child. But goddamn, Jesus. That's shit. I'm so sorry. Anybody that has a sus parent, a cluck parent, or sus cluck, I'm sorry. My deepest condolences. And if you know your parent is sus or clucked, please report them. Please, please, please.
And left her there for days while occasionally bringing her food and water. Amanda thought she was going to die. Her family notified police immediately because Amanda was not the type to not call or go home. A week after Amanda was kidnapped, Ariel Castro called her mother, telling her that Amanda will be home in a few days, but Amanda wants to marry him and he loves her. At that time in 2003, technology was not like it is today. It was the first case in the US where a phone was tracked, but it was not a pinpoint position. At first, it was just Amanda Berry and Michelle Knight.
Wait. So they don't know where he live at? I don't know about that one. Come on. Okay, they couldn't pinpoint the exact location, but I'm pretty sure they got like in that area. So gather like, a few hundred police officers and start knocking on doors. Excuse me. But that if somebody on the phone told me that my daughter or like, what is that? Or kid, whatever, said that they want to marry a 30, 40, 50-year-old something, that's a red flag. What are you talking about? She's 17.
Both described their living conditions as disgusting. They were not allowed to leave their rooms or to go to the bathroom, so they used buckets that were barely empty. Castro controlled every action in that house. They were barely allowed to bathe. If they were allowed to take showers, it was only with him.
Wow.
And then one day, they hear another struggle downstairs. And that was Gina DeJesus. Gina DeJesus was a kind and sweet little girl at the time. She loved to dance and skate and was known to impersonate Selena. She grew up on the west side of Cleveland and she was 14 years old. At the time, she was with her friend, and it was Friday afternoon, going into the evening as the two girls discussed having a sleepover. Her friend used the payphone to call her mother and asked her if she could spend the night over at Gina's house. Her mother said no. So the two friends split up and walked separate ways. While Gina is walking, her friend's father pulls up next to her. Her friend's father, the Ariel Castro. Castro asked Gina if she had seen his daughter, and Gina tells him, yeah, I was just with her. She's around the corner. Then he asks Gina to help him find her. She agrees and she gets into the car because she trusted him. It was her friend's father. She didn't hesitate. While driving, he asks Gina to help him move a speaker in the house, and she agrees. They get to the house, but he begins to act weird by hugging Gina. Gina questions him and tells him that he can get in trouble for that. He tells her that she can go if she wants to. But once he tells her that, Gina begins to walk to the front door because that's where she entered the house. He then tells her that he's superstitious and she can't leave out the same door that she entered. He led her to the door near the back of the house. As she opened the door, he pushed her inside the door. That door led to the basement. When she was in the basement, Ariel Castro chained Gina up and then turned on his music so no one can hear her screaming for help. Gina's family immediately went to the police when she didn't show up at home. But while held in captivity, the girls were allowed to watch TV. Amanda and Gina's families were constantly on the TV, having rallies and begging for their daughters and family members to come home. But there was never any mention of Michelle Knight. Castro hated Michelle Knight because when he first kidnapped her, he thought she was a 13-year-old prostitute, but she was 21 years old. He would always let her know that there was no one looking for her.
Wait a minute. Wait, I gotta run that back. He thought she was 13, but she's really 21. That's a big ass gap. Genes must be on point. Great. Wait a minute. What? Hold on. So he was gonna do God knows what to this 13-year-old kid. So he wouldn't have done anything if she was 21, but 13. And how do you mistake that? How do you mistake someone from being 13 to 21? You don't. You can put on all the mascara you want, all the makeup you want. You can dress a certain way. You're not going to be looking like 21 if you're 13. No. Also, no. Ain't no way he mistaken her to be 13. Jesus.
And she doesn't matter to this world. And by coincidence, she was the only one of the three that would constantly fight back. That made Castro punish her all the time. One form of punishment was chaining her to the ceiling. Castro would chain her ankles and wrists to the ceiling with 3-foot-long chains, facing down for 2 days with no food, sometimes longer than that. Sometimes not eating for weeks at a time, while Amanda and Gina received food.
Wow.
Michelle became pregnant 5 times. The aerial Castro induced her miscarriages 5 times and made it to where she couldn't have kids afterward. Ariel Castro attended the rallies and the search parties for the girls, sometimes consoling the parents and crying with them. After attending the rallies and search parties, he would tell the women, taunting them and laughing at them. The neighborhood went crazy looking for Gina and Amanda. They went missing in damn near the same spot. Initially, he kept them separated and would turn them against each other. What I mean separated is he had Amanda by herself, with Michelle and Gina in the same room. He would tell them lies about each other, telling them that the other one was talking about them. He would have them not talking to each other, and if they were caught talking through the walls, he would punish them by keeping the lights off, no heat in the winter, no AC in the summer, and no food. Every time he left the house, he would lock their doors from the outside. But one day, Castro was on his motorcycle when he saw Gina's mother outside passing out flyers. He knew her mom because they went to high school together. She asked for him to pass out some of the flyers, and he said yeah, and he did. He also took one home and showed it to Gina. There were times when he would play Russian roulette with Gina, and he would go first. He didn't hand her the gun, get on his knees to pray, and would tell her that if she loved him, she wouldn't pull the trigger. That would confuse Gina, but she would pull the trigger. He would test the women by leaving the door open on purpose, but he would hide to see if they would take the bait. When Castro had company, he would chain all 3 of them up together on a pole in the basement, telling them to be quiet. So one day, all 3 of his daughters came over with their boyfriends and their kids because they heard that there were 3 women in the house. So they searched all around the house. He had them hidden in the basement. So when one of his daughters went to the basement door, she went to go open it, but he told her no, she can't go down there because it was under renovation. So nobody searched the basement. So one of Castro's daughters came to stay with him for a weekend, and he took all 3 of the women in a van in his backyard. He put wigs and sunglasses on them, chained them up, and left them in there for days in the middle of the summer without running the van, no AC. That was the first time all 3 of the women were actually together. So this case gained national attention. Amanda Berry's mother was on the Montel Williams show with psychic Sylvia Brown. Sylvia Brown told her that Amanda was dead, and Amanda saw this on TV. 3 years into captivity, Amanda's mother passed away. But a few months after that, she gave birth to a daughter, who was Ariel Castro's. After causing Michelle Knight to have 5 miscarriages, he made her deliver Amanda's baby and threatened to kill her if the baby didn't make it. Throughout the years, Castro would take the girl outside, and Amanda would teach her about life outside of the house. So one day, Castro leaves the house to get all the women McDonald's, but he never locked Amanda's door. Her daughter told her that Daddy's car is gone, and Amanda opens the bedroom door. Amanda goes downstairs, but the front door is locked. only the screen door, not the main door. She managed to break a piece off the door at the bottom and begins to wave her arms and scream at the people outside. A man begins to intervene, but a woman walks by and tells him to not get involved with that. And that's when a man by the name of Charles Ramsey runs up to the porch with a Big Mac in his hand. He grabs the door to try to open it, but it doesn't budge. He kicks the bottom of the door and tells her to finish kicking it. At the same time, Michelle and Gina can hear the commotion that's going on downstairs. They think that Amanda is getting beat by Castro, so they turn their radio up. As Amanda gets out of the house, she brings her daughter out with her. And these are the 911 calls made by Charles Ramsey and Amanda Berry.
Cleveland 911 police, ambulance or fire.
Yeah, hey, bro, I'm at 2207 Seymour, West 25th. Hey, check this out. I just came from McDonald's, right? So I'm on my porch eating my little food, right? This broad is trying to break out the house next door to me. So there's a bunch of people on the street right now. So he's like, well, what's wrong with what's the problem? She like, this motherfucker kidnapped me and my daughter, and we've been in this bitch. She say her name is Linda Berry. I don't know who the that is. I just moved over here, bro.
Sir.
Why he cursing so much?
Sir, you have to calm down and slow down. Is she still in the street?
Seymour Avenue.
Is she still in the street, or where did she go?
Yeah, I'm looking at her. She right now. She calling y'all. She on another phone.
Is she black, white, or Hispanic?
She white, but the baby look Hispanic.
Okay, what is she wearing?
White tank top, light blue sweatpants. Like a white beater.
Do you know the address next door that she said she was in?
Yeah, 2207. I'm looking at it.
Okay, I thought that was your address. So that house.
No, I'm smarter than that, bro. I'm telling you what a crime was.
Okay, look, sir, we can't talk at the same time. Do you want to leave your name and number? Or your name and number?
Ramsey.
He sounds smarter than that. I get it, right? There's a lot going on. But it's just the way he just started attacking. It's like he was attacking a police officer. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. Hey, check it out.
RAMSBY.
What's the phone number? Are the people she said that did this, do you know if they still in the house?
I don't have a clue, bro. I just said I came from McDonald's.
Can you ask her if she needs an ambulance?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's so funny how he's like doing. I don't know why he cursing so much, but it's crazy. It's like really funny that like he's just like hysterical, like on the phone, just talking crazy. And then you had the officer, because like dude talking about something. Officer talking about. Okay. Yeah, look, sir, we cannot talk at the same time. I cannot understand you. Does she need an like? He has such. I mean, I think I know why. Officers talk at a certain tone and at a certain level and at a certain speed. Just to not get the other person riled up, I guess. The police officers is just, I think, always at like a, what? It's like at like a mellow tone, or like, but it was just funny. It was just funny because he's just, officer. Right. Okay.
What? She needs everything. She's in a panic, bro. I guess she's been kidnapped, so, put yourself in her shoes.
We'll send the police out. Thank you.
There you go.
Help me, I'm Amanda Berry.
You need police, fire, or ambulance?
I need police.
Okay, and what's going on there?
I've been kidnapped and I've been missing for 10 years, and I'm here. I'm free now.
Okay, and what's your address?
2207 Seymour Avenue.
2207 Seymour. Looks like you're calling me from 2210. Okay, stay there with those neighbors. Talk to the police when they get there.
Okay. Hello?
Yeah, talk to the police when they get there.
Okay, I'm on my way now.
We're going to send them the car open.
No, I need them now before we get back.
All right, we're sending them, okay?
Okay, I mean, like,
Who's the guy you're who's the guy who went out?
his name is Ariel Castro. And I'm Amanda Berry. I've been on the news for the last 10 years.
Okay, I got that here. I already. Right, the police are on the way. Talk to them when they get there. Okay. I told you they're on the way. Talk to them when they get there. Okay.
All right. Okay.
Within minutes, the cops flooded the street. As the first pair of cops pull up, Amanda runs up to the car. She approached the passenger side window, and the cop looked at his partner as if he was surprised because it was Amanda Barrett. They've been looking for her for over 10 years. The officers went into the house, announced who they were, but they didn't hear anyone. They searched the house, and as they began to search upstairs, they noticed that someone was peeking out of the doorway in the darkness, but they wouldn't come out. The female cop shined her flashlight on her patch that said Cleveland Police. And as soon as she did that, that's when Michelle Knight ran out and jumped on the man that was in the front. After Michelle Knight jumped on the police officer, the rest of the cops searched the rest of the upstairs, and they ran into Gina DeJesus. At that point, they were rescued for the first time after 10 years.
Damn.
Since the rescue, Ariel Castro received life in prison, plus 1,000 years, but shortly after the sentence.
You can't just say a life sentence. You in there for life. You gotta say 1,000 years. Who does that affect? Like, who does that affect? Why 1,000 years? What, like, why are you saying all that? That doesn't affect no, like, are you saying, like, for the next 1,000 years, because the old dude did, because of what he did, everybody, all his family members, or like his children and his children's children, and from generations up until 1,000 years, will all receive life sentences. Like, what is the point of saying life? Like, what is the point of saying 1,000 years? If you already say you're getting a life sentence. That's OD. What are you trying? Are you trying to get a promotion or something? Like, what you trying to do? Like,
He took his own life. Amanda Berry has a job with news station Fox 8 News. Gina DeJesus runs a missing women's shelter, which is next door to the house was held captive in. And Michelle Knight is now married. This was the story of Ariel Castro, Amanda Berry, Michelle Knight, and Gina DeJesus.
oh, is that all of them? Or
And a number of the victims,
I'm glad they're fine. I'm glad, like, they're physically fine. Mentally, I don't know about that. They probably clocked up in the head. Oh, is that the one that looks like? Oh, okay.
My name is Michelle Knight, and I would like to tell you what 11 years was like for me. I miss my son every day. I wonder if I was ever going to see him again. He was only 2.5 years old when I was taken. I look inside my heart and I see my son. I cried every night. I was so alone. I worried about what would happen to me and the other girls every day. Days never got shorter. Days turned into nights. Nights turned into days. Years turned into eternity. I knew nobody cared about me. He told me that my family didn't care. He tormented me constantly, even on holidays. Christmas was the most traumatic day because I never got to spend it with my son. Nobody should ever have to go through what I went through, or anybody else, not even a worst enemy. Gina was my teammate. She never let me fall, I never let her fall. She nursed me back to health when I was dying from his abuse. My friendship with her is the only thing that was good out of this situation. We said we will someday make it out alive, and we did. Ariel Castro, I remember all the times that you came home talking about what everybody else did wrong and act like you wasn't doing the same thing.
Show him.
You said at least I didn't kill
that's
you.
him.
You took 11 years of my life away. And
Why is she... I thought she was talking to him face to face. I don't know why she's facing away. Or maybe she can't even look at him. That's how bad it is. For him to do something like that, he's just... God. Again, that's pure evil. You don't feel nothing at all. There's no sympathy, there's no compassion, there's nothing. It's like you're dead on the inside. God damn. Now I see why he thought she was 13. I think that's her. Now I see why okay. Now I see why what? I cannot word this. Now I see why he thinks that she was 13 instead of 21. You know? I'm sorry for anybody that I offended or I made a joke on that. Some people are just affected. I don't know how to say, physically affect, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean no harm when I, jokingly said something about it earlier, but I can see why now he thought she was 13.
got it back. I spent 11 years in hell. Now your hell is just beginning. I will overcome all this that happened, but you will face hell for eternity. From this moment on, I will not let you define me or affect who I am. You will live, I will live on. You will die a little every day. As you think about the 11 years and atrocities you could inflict it on us. What does God think of you hypocritically going to church every Sunday? Coming home to torture us. The death penalty will be so much easier. You don't deserve that. You deserve to spend life in prison. I can forgive you, but I'll never forget. With the guidance of God, I will prevail and help others that suffered at the hands of others. Writing this statement gave me the strength to be a stronger woman and know that there's more good than evil. I know that there's a lot of people going through hard times, but we need to reach out a hand and hold them and let them know that they're being heard. After 11 years, I am finally being heard, and it's liberating. Thank you all. I love you. God bless you.
Thank you, Miss Stein.
Oh, I'm the only one
Bro,
clapping.
I knew something was wrong when a little pretty white girl ran into a black man's arms. Something is wrong here. Dead giveaway.
Yeah. Good is going to come to you, player. Again, I didn't mean, I'm sorry. I didn't know, she looked like that. She definitely looks way younger than 21, but I'm sorry for being judgmental and stuff. But this, first of all, can we just give props to Nightmare Files for every video that he makes? It's just with the utmost like perfection, like good quality work. God damn. This was a hell of a video. And Cluck, man, Ariel Castro, or whatever your name is, you definitely up there with like some of the most evilest people in the world. You just took away 10 years of somebody's life. 10 long ass years. It probably took, I don't know, I forgot the woman's name that would just went up there and just spoke like that. But it probably took her every muscle in her body and the energy of everybody in that room to come up there and speak and speak the way she did. And also took probably like another, like a, man, bruh, 10 years. You know what that does to somebody mentally? She probably can never trust anybody again. Damn sure males. Oh my God. And didn't he have a daughter? It didn't Ariel Patch, whatever his name is, didn't he have a daughter? I cannot imagine what she felt in that courtroom. See, for people like that, for people like him, do not let somebody, like don't let them take their own life. You need to watch him. Because he should have sat in that jail cell, he should have sat locked up until he died of natural causes. That made me so mad when he took his own life. But this was one hell of a video. But Nightmare Files, I don't know how often you're going to be showing your face. But that's on you, brother. I'm going to always keep watching. I'm going to always keep my support. Much love. And I'm just, what's it called? Distraught. I'm just like, there's so many emotions going on inside of me. I don't really know how to explain exactly how I felt about this video. 10 years of torture, pain. I hope he gets what he deserves in the afterlife. Keep it cool. Keep it classy. And I love you. Stay happy. My family.